Hello, this is Mr. Mario Kart, aka King Evan, and I want to introduce you guys to Overrated, Underrated, or Properly Rated Ninja Edition. This has been heavily inspired by Barry McCockener's, yes, that is a real YouTuber, uh, series of the same name. However, I want to put mine in the ninja world. So I put out a Google Forms, and it said to fill out what you would like me to say, my take on, and why you think that. So our first person is it's Billy Vids. Shout outs to him. And he says the Bridge of Blades. I chose this obstacle because it's a great obstacle and he'll have some varying opinions. Now, my opinion on the Bridge of Blades is the original Bridge of Blades that was in Sasuke 13 to 17 was a phenomenal obstacle. It definitely caused some shock fails early on, and it was just a obstacle that was something new for a balance obstacle. However, after that, that's where the problems start coming into. As we have the X Bridge that barely anyone failed on Sasuke 24, and the A&W Bridge of Blades was not designed very well. So I would say that the two cancel out, and my verdict is properly rated. Next up, we have Ninjas for the Win 1312. Shoutouts to him as well. He says the Crooked Wall. I believe this obstacle is very underrated by many, and I agree. If you saw my recently uploaded Dream Sasuke renewal, you would know that the Crooked Wall was put on there, and I would love to see how it would be in modern Sasuke. So my verdict, just like Ninjas, is underrated. So Shanko is next, and he says A&W 6. It is probably the most divisive tournament in A&W. It pretty much skyrocketed the series to fame, yet also is what started multiple trends credited to the downfall of the show. Personally, I believe it's a decent season, overrated by the casual fandom, but by hardcore ninja and A&W fans is rated fairly. A&W 6 is weird for me. There are some aspects about A&W 6 that were pretty cool. However, some aspects of it were not. I did think, unlike in later seasons, Casey Catanzaro's edits were actually warranted. However, outside of hers, Michelle Warnke, and Mega Martin conquering the Warp Wall for the first time, there isn't really much happening outside of Joe Moravsky and Ella Hall. It definitely, personally, I would say it probably would be rated somewhere in the middle of my A&W seasons. I definitely want to watch it again at some point to gain a better opinion on it. So my verdict is properly rated. Objection overruled, aka Kane, who is one of the two members of the Sasuke Nerds. Please subscribe to them. He says Tomohiro Ishii, way better than Shinya Sugiyama. He's like an 8 out of 10. I disagree. I don't think he is better than Shinya Sugiyama. In fact, I think he is rated as one of the worst announcers of all time, which I personally do not agree with. I think he's better than some of the other people that are from the more recent Sasuke tournaments, not named Sugiyama. Ishii is not better than Kengo. He's probably on par with Ito. He's not better than Fuyamasa Sato. He's not better than Ogasawara. He's not better than Hatsuda, and he's not better than Fuwatachi. So my verdict is he's underrated, but it's still not very great. Next up, we have Jamie, Robloxian Sasuke. It's my comp, and I crave positive affirmations to boost my self-esteem. I can respect that. I actually did watch a little bit of the Robloxian Sasuke, and as someone who has not really been in the Roblox scene, I've never really cared for it. I like games more like Mario Maker a lot more. But from what I saw, I liked it. Now, I don't know how people would rank it with other Roblox comps, so I'm just going to say my verdict is underrated, and please check it out if you haven't already. Next up, we have my friend Kane Nakasugi. Shout out to him as well. Please subscribe to his channel and join his Discord server. He says the arm rings, underrated for me, though I want to hear your thoughts because it's like a personal pick for me when it comes to obstacles. And honestly, I agree. I think the issue with the arm rings is that it's not a 3-1. It should not, like, the only two people who failed it in Sasuke failed it because they had previous nagging injuries. Daisuke Nakata and Shingo Yamamoto. Now, I think if the arm rings was placed in a different place on the course, it could honestly be a lot more deadly. As we've seen in A&W, specifically in A&W 4, where it was the 8th obstacle of the course, and it definitely took out a lot of people. So, my verdict is properly rated, but it has a lot of potential. Because, well, I think it's properly rated in the place it has been, but there's definitely a lot of potential there. Next up, we have Shackman, who is the other member of the Sasuke Nerds. He says, Chain Reaction. It's the GOAT Stage 2 starting obstacle because the rest are ass. I disagree with the other starting obstacles being ass, but it is definitely the GOAT of them. And I think the Chain Reaction is seen that way, and for good reason. It was very exciting. You could spend a while on it, but you can also get through it quick. And it even caused some, like, really painful fails, like looking at you, Kozo Akamoto. So my verdict is properly rated. And my final person is Yuxinator, who says, Lance Negron. You know him in real life, and I know him from watching competitions. I think he's hella underrated. Let me tell you something about this guy, Lance Negron. Really cool guy in person. I've talked to him on many occasions when I went to Grips, which is located close to my place of residence and where I go to school. Really cool guy. The dude has pulled off some of the most insane shit I have ever seen in my life. I don't know if he applied for AMW season 15, but if he did, watch out. I would not be surprised if he ends up going very far. So my verdict isn't just underrated, it's criminally underrated. And that's all I have for you guys. Depending on the reaction to this, I will see if I can do a sequel, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So this has been Mr. Marker, aka King Evan, signing out.